testing methods, and water quality assessment. In the biochemical laboratory, other modern instrumentation are being used in order to support the National Nutrition Survey, medical research institutions, LGUs, non-government and international organizations. Having continuously participated and showed satisfactory results in the quality assurance programs of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Biochem Lab offers now a wide range of tests. Meanwhile, the Microbiological Lab is a food laboratory offering a range of tests covering spoilage, indicator and pathogenic microorganisms in food and water samples. The Microlab offers the following: Also, the Microlab conducts isolation and identification of pathogenic microorganisms in food that are of significance to public health. Recently, the laboratory has also started performing molecular pathogen detection in food and bacterial cultures. Using the technology of real-time polymerase chain reaction, detection of Salmonella and Vibrio has become more rapid and accurate, as we are committed to deliver high-quality and timely services. The laboratory is maintained by well-trained, experienced, and PRC-registered chemists and chemical technicians, medical technologists, and registered microbiologists on analysis of different samples. Aside from our commitment to maintain quality data generation, FNRI SL also holds trainings and continuous consultation to customers and stakeholders. In the future, the laboratory aims to expand its services by offering specialized tests to the public. In order to do this, we commit to continuously develop methods and train our laboratory staff for excellence and quality service.
Morning po sa ating lahat. Your
Good
attention
morning po.
po. Maraming salamat po sa...
Buds, good morning. Naririnig mo ako, Buds? Testing, bago.
Yes, Ma'am Chari. Loud and...
Okay. Tsaka lang. Huwag ka muna umalis.
Okay yung audio ko, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay po. Let's start. Your attention please, everyone, for our
Baka...
the Philippine National Anthem and the DOST hymn.
Lumang araw ng walang pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya na pag may mga api, mamamatay ng kahit sa iyo. Buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya na pag may mga api, mamamatay ng kahit sa iyo. Buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Dumating na ang pag-asa, isang sinisita. Ang DOST ay sumila, lingkod ng bayan sa tuwina. Magsakas ng bagong karunungan sa iba't ibang lugar. Pumili ka sa ganahan at kapinan. Magsakas ng bagong karunungan sa kanyang sagisang. Ay biyayang malalasan. Magpugay tayo ng sabay-sabay. Mabuhay, mabuhay ang DOST. Pasensya, sandigan ng mga kabayan. Layunin nakita at may kasapapunin. Magkaisa ng nalaman para sa atin ang bayan. Mabuhay, mabuhay ang DOST. Pasensya ay sandigan ng maulat na bayan. Layunin nakita at may magkakapusarin. Magkaisa ng dalan para sa ilang bayan. Magkakapusarin.
Good morning once again. I am Salvador Serrano of the Dost-Fnri of the Marketing Unit. Welcome and thank you for attending this virtual Nutricomnet or Nutrition Communication Network Forum for Region 2. Today is June 16, and we will be looking forward to recent presentations of our speakers from Dost-Fnri. We will be tackling today the 2019 Expanded National Nutrition Survey results, which were disseminated recently, as well as the nutrition status during the pandemic, or what we call the Rapid Nutritional Assessment Survey, or ENNS. And last but not the least, we are also promoting again the technology on iron-fortified rice, because there's a great demand now for the feeding programs of the government. So we are hoping that through this forum, we will be able to encourage our rice millers to adapt the program. Now, moving on, we will now hear the message in behalf of Undersecretary for Regional Operations, Sancho A. Maborang. He will be ably represented by Mrs. Virginia Bulgaria, the Assistant Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology, Regional Office 2. Ms. Bulgaria is the ARD for Field Operations of the OST. Good morning, Ma'am Bulgaria, and over to you, Ma'am.
Okay, isang makaasam na umaga sa ating lahat. I just want to welcome and greet everyone who are visually present With us in this virtual Nutricomnet forum is the OIC Nutritional Assessment and Monitoring Division and Supervising Science Research Specialist of Food and Nutrition Research Institute, Ma'am Charmaine Duarte. Also present virtually are Senior Science Research Specialist, Dr. Eva Goyena and Ms. Adi Patrones. We also have with us Nicole Bristol, FRS1, who will introduce the participants later, other participants from the FNRI. I would like also to welcome the Regional Director of Philippine Information Agency, Region 2, Ma'am Angeli Mercado, and the President of Cagayan Valley Information Officers, Sir Amir Aquino, and other local media practitioners, information officers of local government agencies, academe, non-government institutions, and private institutions. At this time of pandemic, our access to relevant and up-to-date information on food and nutrition is all over the internet. But not all the uploaded information or pieces of information online is reliable and accurate. For the general public to benefit from these science and technology initiatives, it must be valid and true. With the help of our local media practitioners, information officers of local government agencies, academe, and non-government institutions, private institutions involved in food and nutrition and promotion, the amount of information to be released in any platform will be more accessible, understandable, and ultimately simple so that any walk of life can understand this concept. For the information of everybody, you can also access the DOST-Fnri's updated information, the innovation or IFNRI. It is a trusted source of quality and timely food, nutrition, and health information in the Philippines. This innovation can help us to create and properly disseminate reliable data about health and nutrition to people. You can also browse their newly added site, which is iTrain. In this site, users can now enroll in face-to-face online or offline training and watch, learn, and enjoy nutrition videos anytime, anywhere. These kinds of innovations can really help our people to clearly understand the initiatives made for them. I strongly believe that for us to survive and be healthy, we clearly need essential nutrients. And for our audience to be healthy and healthy, we would give them and amplify appropriate and credible information. So today is the perfect time to introduce a more reliable source of information or intelligence to the general public. Webinar.
Thank you very much, ARD Bulgaria of DOST Region 2. Moving forward, let me now turn you over to Mr. Nicole M. Bristol, Science Research Specialist 1 of the Marketing Unit of DOST FNRI for the acknowledgement and introduction of our Zoom participants. Over to you, Nix.
Hi, Sir Buds. Good morning po to everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our attendees in this Nutricomnet virtual forum for Region 2 this morning. First off, we have attendees from Department of Science and Technology Regional Office 2, Provincial Science and Technology Center Quirino, PSTC Isabela, Department of Education Regional Office 2, DepEd School Division Office of Cagayan, DPWH Region 2. We also have attendees coming from Provincial Social Welfare and Development Office of Cagayan, Provincial Health Offices of Cagayan and Quirino. We have friends from National Nutrition Council Region 2, from Local Government Unit of Difon, Quirino, Local Government Unit of Igig, Cagayan. We also have participants coming from Public Affairs and Information Assistance Division of Provincial Local Government of Nueva Vizcaya. We also have representative from Provincial Local Government of Quirino. From the academe, we have representatives from Quirino State University and Cagayan State University. We also have friends from Cagayan Economic Zone Authority, DSP Miguel Rice Mill and Palay Trading. From the media, we have BBS TWBT Radyo Pilipinas Batanes, TWPE Radyo Pilipinas, and from our chat box, we have from Philippine Information Agency Region 2 and Provincial Nutrition Office of Quirino. We also joined by our viewers from our live stream in YouTube and Facebook. Again, good morning po sa ating lahat and enjoy po.
Thank you very much. And once again, maraming salamat po sa pag-attend ninyo sa ating forum. Now, we go to the main program, and to present us the recent results of the Expanded National Nutrition Survey, or ENNS, is the officer in charge of the Nutritional Assessment and Monitoring Division of the DOST-Fnri. She's also the Supervising Science Research Specialist of the NAMD FNRI. Ladies and gentlemen, let me turn over you to Ms. Charmaine A. Duante for the presentation on the Expanded National Nutrition Survey results. Good morning, Ma'am Chari.
Good morning, buds, at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. And for today, ipipresent ko po yung latest results of the Expanded National Nutrition Survey in 2019. So, may I now share my screen? Ito. Nasaan siya? Teka. Sandali lang po, ha? Ba't nasaan?
Yan. Okay na, Ma'am Chari.
Okay na. Okay. Sorry, ha. Medyo...
medyo naglalag yung net natin, Ma'am Chari.
Ganon. Okay. Okay, bud. Sorry, ha. So, good morning once again. My report is on the pre-COVID-19 food and nutrition situation of Filipinos. So this is from the results of the 2019 ENNS. May I first give you a brief overview of the Expanded National Nutrition Survey, or the ENNS, before presenting the results of the survey. No? Sinabi ko po kanina, this was conducted in 2019, several months before the pandemic. in 2018, sorry, in 2018, DOST-Fnri, ano yun? Sandali po. Stop share. Ano? Okay, so sorry po for the technical problem. Okay, so in 2018, the survey design of the ENNS was changed basically to answer the clamor of LGUs of a lower level disaggregation of data. So we want to generate reliable estimates for the province and HUC. So para magamit po ito ng ating mga LGUs and other stakeholders as basis for their development plan. Next is, there is a need to generate nutrition and health data every year at the national level to cover key health and nutrition indicators for monitoring the national programs. And the third is, as the official generator of statistics on SDGs, so meron pong dalawang SDG that are assigned to FNRI for tracking changes and or improvement in the SDGs for the Filipinos. Okay, in 2018, the PSA board or the Philippine Statistics Authority issued a resolution approving and adopting the survey design of the expanded National Nutrition Survey. So the survey design of the ENNS is now termed as the rolling survey. So it will cover the total of 117 sampling domains. So ito pong mga sampling domains na po ito ay 81 provinces, 33 highly urbanized cities, and 3 special areas na covered po ng PSA. So for the first year in 2018, 2018 NNS covered a total of 40 areas. For 2019, another set of 20 areas, and for the third year, 2020 ay 37 areas. For the sampling design of the survey, we adopted the master sample of the PSA. So ito po ay two-stage cluster sampling design. The first stage ay ang selection po ng tinatawag po nating PSUs or the primary sampling unit. So ito pong PSU na ito ay pwede pong isang barangay, isang enumeration areas, or adjacent small barangays. But in the real world, ang may border lang pong nakikita natin sa area is the barangay. So ang isang PSU usually ranges from 100 to 400 households. So the second stage is the selection of the households from the 16 replicates. So ang tinatawag po nating replicates is the list of households coming from the PSA. So about 1,536 households ang target po natin in every area. Okay? So let me give you the comparison between the National Nutrition Survey and the expanded National Nutrition Survey. Una, regarding the survey design, Yung ENNS po or the National Nutrition Survey is a one-shot survey which is done every 5 years, sorry. So the last ENNS was in 2013. With the Expanded National Nutrition Survey or the ENNS, sabi ko po kanina, it is termed as the rolling survey, wherein the data collection is expanded into 3 years. So 2018, 2019, 2020. And in between two national nutrition surveys is the updating survey. So ito rin po ay one shot na ginagawa po every 2.5 or 3 years sa pagitan ng dalawang survey. So the last updating survey was in 2015. So with the ENNS, hindi na po natin kailangan mag-conduct ng updating survey. So this means malaki po ang masisave natin in terms of budget. Okay, so regarding naman the sampling design po, this is the procedure on how we select the areas in the survey. Okay, so for the ENNS, we use the 2003 master sample. So ito po yung old master sample, which was based on the 2000 census of households. And for the ENNS, the latest master sample ng PSA, which is the 2013 master sample. In terms of coverage, the National Nutrition Survey covered 17 regions and 80 provinces, while the ENNS, 117 sampling domains. So, nabanggit ko na po ito kanina. So 81 provinces, 33 HUCs, and 3 other areas. In terms of replicates, eto pong replicates are merely the list of households that PSA gave to us. So for the ENNS ay 4 replicates po ang nagamit namin, while the expanded ay 16. So eto po may kinalaman po dun sa number of households or the sample size. For the ENNS ay 40, ang range po ng sample size is from 40,000 to 50,000 households, while the ENNS is about 180,000 sample households. So with an average of 1,536 in an area. So with ang estimation po nito, the level of disaggregation for the ENNS, we have the national estimates and the regional estimates. While in the ENNS, we have also the national, and later we can compute for the regional, but we can have a direct estimation at the province and HUC level. Okay, so meron po kaming updates regarding the ENNS. Because of the pandemic, the COVID-19, it has greatly affected the conduct of the ENNS. So only 2 years, 2018 and 2019, the data collection were done. And the 2020 ENNS was discontinued last year because of the Luzon-wide enhanced community quarantine or the ECQ. Ngayon, yung schedule na 2020 ENNS, we will do the survey next month in July to collect data to determine the possible effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the nutrition and health status of the Filipino population. Okay, so ano po ba ang objective in conducting expanded national nutrition survey? So with the ENNS, we can provide empirical data on the nutrition and health status of Filipinos. So this will be used for planning nutrition and development programs and for timely policy decisions at the province or HUC and as well as the national level. ENNS assessed the physical growth and dimensions of children and other population groups using anthropometric indicators. Ito po yung height, the weight, and the waist and hip circumferences for adults. To assess nutrition biomarkers of children and other population groups, for example, hemoglobin. This is used for the determination of anemia, serum retinol level for vitamin A deficiency, and the urinary iodine concentration for iodine status. Also, the survey wanted to determine the prevalence of non-communicable disease risk factors among children 10 years old and above. So hanggang sa mga matatanda. So yung mga risk factors include elevated blood pressure, high fasting blood sugar, some of the behavioral variables like smoking, binge drinking, and physical inactivity. Okay, ENNS also determines the energy and nutrient intake at the household and individual levels. And also, we want to determine the magnitude of food insecurity and coping mechanisms among households. And then to track changes or progress in the achievement of our SDGs. So we have 2 SDGs assigned to FNRI as the official data source. So SDG 2 on zero hunger and SDG 3 on good health and well-being. Okay, in the ENNS, we also study the association of the different risk factors to nutrition and health status. So we do some in-depth analysis of our data. And of course, in the profiling of our respondents as well as the demography or demographic characteristics of the household. So we collect some information like, of course, the age, the education, and other factors. And we have also gathered information on income, but this time a surrogate measure for income known as the wealth index. So let me give you the results of the 2019 ENNS in response to the assigned SDGs to FNRI as the official source of data. For goal 2, this is to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. So for target 2.1, by 2030, hunger should end, and there should be an ensure access by all people, in particular the poor and people in vulnerable situations, including infants, to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food all year round. So one of the indicators for this target is the proportion of households meeting 100% of the recommended energy intake. So the baseline for the SDG is our 2015 updating of the nutritional status of Filipino children and other population groups, and the updates is the latest data on the 2019 ENNS. So the 2019 ENNS is a pooled estimate from the 2018 and 2019. So the baseline data for the proportion of households meeting 100% of the recommended energy intake is 31%. But in the latest data, it went down, the proportion went down to 23.5%, and this is significant. Another indicator, this is for target 2.2. So by 2020, all forms of malnutrition should end, so including achieving by 2025 the internationally agreed targets on stunting and wasting among under 5 children. So the indicator that is assigned to us is the prevalence of stunting among children under 5 years of age. So yung baseline po natin is 33.4, and it went down in the 2019 ENNS to 29.6%. So yung decline po ay significant. Another indicator is the prevalence of wasting among under 5 children with a baseline rate of 7.1%. Again, it is the decline is significant at 5.7%. And another indicator is the prevalence of overweight, also for under 5 children. Baseline prevalence is 3.9, and the latest update is 3.5%. Although na bumaba, it's only 0.4 percentage points. So hindi po significant ang pagbaba. Okay, so under 2.2, meron po doong prevalence of micronutrient deficiencies. Ito po yung sa vitamin A. So among population groups, let's start with children 6 months to 5 years old. Ang baseline po natin, the data is coming from the 2013. Dahil po noong 2015, wala po tayong collection ng blood sample. So it was 20.4 and it went down to 15.5, but the decrease is significant. Among adults or among elderly 16 years old and over, baseline vitamin A deficiency data is 3% in 2013 and naging 1% na lang po siya, which is significantly different from the baseline at 2019 ENNS. Okay. For the population groups, among pregnant women, the baseline is 9 and then it went down to 3%. And decline po again is significant. And among lactating mothers, the baseline vitamin A deficiency, the prevalence of vitamin A deficiency is 5 and then it went down to 2.2. Again, the decline is significant. For the prevalence of anemia, anemia is determined by hemoglobin levels. So among 6 months to 5 years old and pregnant women, lactating mothers, as well as the elderly. So bumaba po lahat ng rates, but the decline is not significant. Okay. So another indicator is the proportion of exclusively breastfed children 0 to 5 months old. So our baseline data taken from the 2015 updating of the nutritional status of Filipino children and other population groups. So ito po ay 48.8% and tumaas po siya into 56.4%. And the increase is significant. Now we go to goal 3. So target 3.8 is to strengthen the implementation of the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control in all countries. So in the Philippines, age standardized prevalence of current tobacco use among persons aged 15 years and older is 22.9% in the 2015 updating survey, and it went down to 20.1 in the ENNS 2019. So meron pa pong additional indicators is the prevalence of current tobacco use among adolescents of 10 to 19.9 years old, as well as among 20 years old and over. So bumaba po sila, but the decline is not significant. Okay, so now we go to voluntary Global NCD targets for the year 2025. So ang FNRI po ay official source din ng data in tracking this. For example po, in the blue circle, yun po yung indicators that the National Nutrition Survey as well as the ENNS are collecting. So yung tatlo po ay hindi po yan sa FNRI. So this is on the harmful use of alcohol. So there should be 10% reduction by 2025. Physical inactivity, there should be 10% reduction. Salt, sodium intake at 30% reduction. Tobacco use should be reduced by 30%. Raised blood pressure should be also reduced by 25%. And for diabetes or obesity, there should be no increase. Okay, so here are the risk factors na kasama po doon sa tinatrack po natin. So this is the prevalence of elevated blood pressure. So ang operational definition po dito, pag ang BP po ng isang tao ay 140 pataas for the systolic blood pressure and 90 for the diastolic blood pressure. For pagkamataas po doon, yung pong sinasabi natin ng isang individual, adults 20 years old and above, ay meron pong elevated blood pressure. So this is determined using by a single visit measurement. So again, comparing with the 2015, the proportion of adults 20 to 59 years old, ang prevalence po ng ang dami po ng may mataas na presyon ay 20.8%. But in the latest, bumaba po siya at 15% po na lang, and this is significant. Among the elderly, 60 years old and above, understandably na mas mataas po dahil hypertension or blood pressure increase with age. So 41.2% po ang initial, the baseline in 2015, and naging 34.7 po siya, significantly lower from the previous survey. Ito naman po yung prevalence of high fasting blood sugar. So, kumukuha po kami ng blood sample sa field to determine po yung fasting blood sugar level. So, a level of more than 126 and above milligrams per DL is considered may diabetes na ang isang tao. So, for adults 20 to 59, years old, the prevalence of high fasting blood sugar went up from 4.7% to 6.9%. Ganon din po sa mga matatanda or the elderly, 60 years old and above, from 11 to 13.8. So the increases are significant po at 5% level of significance. Okay, so another risk factor is the current smoking or the proportion of current smokers. So meron po tayong ditong tatlong population groups for the adolescents aged 10 to 19 years old. So there was a decrease in the proportion of current smoking, as well as in the adult population 20 to 59, also a significant decrease in the proportion of current smokers, as well as among the elderly, there was also a significant increase in the proportion of current smokers. So another risk factor to NCD is current alcohol drinking. So again, 3 population groups. So tingnan po natin kung may pagkakaiba po ba. So in the 2015 and the latest pooled estimate, so among adolescents 10 to 19 years old, so halos wala pong nagbago. So it's still from 14.9 to 15%. Also, among adults, from 47.8% to 48.2%, as well as among the elderly. So ito po, hindi po gumalaw yung estimates natin after 3 years. So halos pareho pa rin po. Another indicator or another risk factor for NCD is the is called binge drinking. Ito po, according to WHO at saka yung ginagamit po naming operational definition, for example, among currently drinking adults, no, pag uminom po sila in the past 30 days or 1 month in one sitting ng more than 5 drinks sa mga lalaki and more than 4 drinks sa mga babae, ang tawag po doon ay binge drinking or yung dami ng mga binge drinkers. So among adults, the estimate in the 2015 is 55.6, bumaba lang po ng bahagya into 54.3 in the latest pooled estimate of the 2018-2019 ENNS. Ganon din po among the elderly, the decline from 47.5% is not significant, no, naging 45.6%. Also, another risk factor is the prevalence of is insufficiently physically active. So among adults, from 40.7%, bumaba po siya into 38.8%, but the decline is not significant. However, among the elderly, the decline in the proportion of physical inactivity at elderly is significant. So from 52.6, naging 43.8%. Okay, so here, ito naman po, actually, is not a factor to NCD, but it's part of the part of the indicators na pinipresent po natin. Tingnan po natin the prevalence of CED or chronic energy deficiency. Ito po yung mga under nourished. So for adults is 9 from 9% naging 7.2%. Yung pagbaba po ay significant. As well as among the elderly, naging 14.3% na lang po ang undernourished. And among lactating mothers, from 13.6 to 10.7%. And also from women of reproductive age, ito po yung non-pregnant, non-lactating, from 10.5% to 7.9%. And the decline is significant. Ngayon naman po, yung prevalence or dami ng mga obese na individual. So ito po ay based on BMI. So sa adults po, meron pong pagtaas from 7.2 to 9.3%, as well as among the elderly from 4.8 to 6.1%. Okay, pumunta po tayo doon sa food security status ng ating mga households, Filipino households. So this is based on HVAS na tool na ginamit po namin. So ito po ay tinatanong ang kanilang mga experience, and the reference period is in the past 30 days, or ito po yung nangyayari, no? Bagong pangyayari. Okay, so food security ay 44%. So the increase from 33.9 in 2015 is significant. And syempre, ang food insecure ay complement lang po nito is 56%. So bumaba rin po ng bahagya. And later, makikita po natin sa next report kung ano na po ang nangyari sa food security status during the pandemic. So in summary, stunting among children under 5 significantly declined, but it remains to be a public health problem with medium to high severity. So nakita po natin, bumaba, pero problema pa rin po natin. Wasting prevalence is within the acceptable to poor severity. So medyo hindi naman masyadong problema po. And stunting talaga ay kahit bumaba, problem pa rin po natin. And among the micronutrient deficiencies, so for VAD or the vitamin A deficiency, among children under 5, elderly, pregnant women, and lactating mothers, significantly bumaba po ang lahat ng prevalence no, among these population groups. Anemia prevalence remains to be of low to moderate. So bumaba rin po but bumaba po ng bahagya in magnitude. Obesity is still a problem among adults and the elderly. There is a rising prevalence of high fasting blood sugar among adults and also among the elderly. So hypertension or elevated blood pressure is significantly declining among adults and elderly. Ang dami po ng mga currently naninigarilyo ay bumaba, and then as well as yung proportion po ng mga inactive adults and the elderly ay bumaba rin po in the latest data. So ito po isa sa mga indicators in goal 2. So exclusive breastfeeding from birth to 5 months ay tumaas po, no? Significantly increase, and food insecurity among Filipino households significantly declines. So the proportion of Filipino households meeting 100% of the recommended energy intake ay bumaba po from 2015 hanggang doon sa latest result natin in 2018-2019 ENNS. So with that, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikinig. Nawa po na enlightened po tayo sa latest data no na ginawa na isinagawa po ng Food and Nutrition Research Institute under the Department of Science and Technology. Maraming salamat po muli.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Chari. Before we proceed, magkakaroon po tayo ng konting game, mga trivia questions. So may I ask for the assistance of Nix and VJ to monitor. So bali pabilisan lang po ng sagot ito sa chat box. May mga itatanong po ako, tapos i-type nyo po yung sagot sa chat box. Kung sino po yung unang may tamang sagot ay papadalan po natin ng cellphone load. Yan. Unang tanong po. What is the new designation, yung pumbuong designation ng Regional Director dati ng DOST Region 2? Ano po ang buong designation o position ngayon ng dating DOST Regional Director? DOST Region 2. Okay, Nix, meron na bang tumama? Sinong nauna? Oo. Nasaan na siya, Nick? Okay, so we have a winner. Ito ba, Nick? Si Miss Angeli Mercado. Okay, congratulations, Miss Angeli Mercado. Pwede pong pakitype sa chat box yung pong cellphone number at network provider niyo po. Kung Globe, kung Smart, At kung
Salamat
ano
po.
Congratulations po, Ma'am Angeli. Okay. So, isa pa before we proceed. Ano po ang meaning ng acronym na Nutricomnet? What is the meaning of the acronym Nutricomnet? Okay. May winner na ba tayo? Sorry nakalimutan ko nabanggit pala. Exempted pala dito yung mga taga FNRI, no? Siyempre kasi may sila, may prior knowledge. Sorry po sa mga taga FNRI. Pang region 2 lang po to. Okay, we have a winner. Jean Pascual Valentin Bakiran.
Thank you po.
Okay, congratulations. So, you are from PIA, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, lagay na lang po sa chat box yung cellphone number at ang network provider. So, gusto niya po ako ng isa. So, isa na lang po before we proceed with the next presentation. The next question is, what is the DOST-Fnri online service mentioned by DOST Assistant Regional Director in her message earlier? Ano po ang online service na binanggit kanina ni Assistant Regional Director ng DOST2, si Ma'am Virginia Bilgeria, na online service ng FNRI? Do we have a winner, Nick? So again po, hindi po pwede dito yung mga taga FNRI. Okay, so we have a winner. Congratulations to Mr. Dave Masira. Sir, kindly put in the chat box your cell phone number and network provider. Congratulations po, Mr. Dave. So tuloy po natin mamaya. Meron pa tayong mga natitirang 7 questions. So may chance pa po na manalo yung iba. So moving on, to present us this time the highlights of the results of the Rapid Nutritional Assessment Survey is the Senior Science Research Specialist of the Nutritional Assessment and Monitoring Division of DOST-Fnri. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Eva A. Goyena. Doc Beng, over to you.
Okay. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Thank you, Sir Bads. Thank you. Naimbag abigat tayo amin apo. So let me share to you my slides for a while po ha. Okay. Ulit ko muna. Oh, wait lang po. Hello, Sir Bads. Tinig niyo na po. Ay, kita niyo po, no? Okay, so
Ben.
again po. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Naimbag-abigat tayo amin apos. So I am happy to share with you the key findings of our survey, the Rapid Nutrition Assessment Survey that we have conducted last year, 2020, in selected areas of the country. So, next. So the ENNS, we call it ENNS po yung survey, was conducted from November 3 to December 3, 2020 to provide a snapshot of the changes in one, food security or insecurity, second, nutrition services, and also on the changes on maternal and child feeding practices in selected areas with high, medium, and low risk of COVID-19, with the hope that these results, that this evidence-based information may guide our policy makers and program implementers in enhancing and intensifying policies and program implementation and its delivery in a more focused and targeted approach. So how did we select the survey areas of ENNS? First, we selected a subsample of the areas that were covered in the 2019 expanded ENNS, which was earlier presented to you. And the areas covered were across Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. So nationwide din po. And second, we classified these areas, provinces, and cities into low, medium, and high risk level to COVID-19 infection. So one province or HUC was selected from each risk category across Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, with a total of 3 areas per category based on the IATF classification. Only households with mobile numbers were included in the ENNS. So a total of 5,717 or 96.2% households were covered in our survey with 7,240 individual members. So the respondents of the survey were the household heads or the mothers or caregivers and also the pregnant mothers themselves. Yun po yung ating respondents. So for the areas covered in ENNS, we have a total of 9 provinces or HUCs. Under the high risk, we have that time last year, Parañaque City, Lapu-Lapu City, and Pateros. For moderate risk areas, we included here Pangasinan, province of Pangasinan, Southern Leyte, and Zamboanga City. And for the low risk areas, we have Angeles City in Pampanga, Guimaras, and South Cotabato in Region 11. So now let's proceed to the key findings of ENNS on food insecurity. 62.1% or 6 out of 10 households experience moderate to severe food insecurity with an overall increase of 22 percentage points from the 40.2 prevalence of food insecurity prior to pandemic. So the impact of COVID-19 was higher in low risk and moderate risk areas, as shown here in the graph, at 24 percentage points and about 23 percentage point increase in the prevalence in food insecurity as compared po dito sa high risk areas na ang percentage point increase ng food insecurity is only 16.3 percentage points. So this is an indication po, with this result, it's an indication that high risk, since they are mostly in urban areas or cities, and we know that foods are more likely available and accessible than that of rural areas, we can now say that food and even economic support should be area specific regardless of the risk of COVID-19. So with this result, next is the food insecurity, which is higher among households with children 0 to 12 years old at 7 out of 10, and among households with pregnant members at 8 out of 10, as presented in this graph. So in terms of the coping strategies adopted by food insecure families during pandemic, 71.8% reported that they have purchased food on credit. Nangutang po sila. 66.3% of the households reported borrowing food from their family, relatives, kapitbahay. 30.2% reported barter, exchange of goods. And that 21.1% have reported na they reduce their food intake for their children to eat more. Then, in the ENNS, we also included the different nutrition interventions implemented by the government and other sectors to mitigate the effect of COVID-19 crisis. So the results showed that nearly all, at 96.6% of the surveyed households, received food assistance from their local government units, NGOs, or private sectors, of which 48.9% received it 2 to 3 times, while 42.6 received it more than 3 times. Meaning po, ito yung pinaka-common emergency assistance na na-receive po ng mga tao during the pandemic. So if we look at the content of food packs that were distributed among the households, the most common food items included were rice and cereals, canned goods, meron din pong kasama din po ang instant coffee and also milk and other dairy products, as reported by our respondents. So for another COVID-19 intervention that was asked in the survey is the cash assistance, or this is under the social amelioration program. And results show that about 63%, or majority of the surveyed households, receive cash assistance either from the national or from their local government units, of which more than half, at 58.7, receive only once, based sa findings natin. So, children also bear the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, where the results indicate a significant reduction in children's participation to the key community-based nutrition services. If you look at the Operation Timbang Plus, or the weighing of children under 6 years old to identify those who are malnourished, participation of this OPT fall from 83% prior to COVID, naging 51.1% na lang during the lockdown. Participation on supplementary feeding from 21.6% in 2019, it went down to 11.9%. While for vitamin A supplementation as part of the Garantisadong Pambata, from 65.4%, it went down to 54.9%. And also deworming, or yung pagpurga para matanggal ang mga parasitic infection ng mga bata, 60.4% in 2019, naging 35.3 na lang po during the lockdown. So let's take a look at the OPT participation. For example, among the 48.9% children who were not weighed nor measured for height, ano po yung reasons for non-participation? So that the common reasons were: one, did not visit the health center due to lockdown. Second, BNS or barangay health workers did not visit them, or yung iba din po, 12.4%, say that they do not know why they were not visited or they were not covered by this program. In terms of supplementary feeding, majority of the surveyed children across the different areas did not receive any supplementary feeding as reported by the mothers or caregivers. And among those, 11.9% who reported receiving this supplementary feeding program, the mean duration was less than a month, at approximately 12 days lang as reported. So when asked about the type of food received for supplementary feeding, it was reported na ang mga na-receive po nila is just part of the family food packs, like yung gulay, tinapay, canned goods. May nag-report din po na cooked food, and others reported receiving dry ration. Ito yung rice, gatas, rice. May nag-report din po na rice mongo blend. Okay, next. In terms of access to maternal health services, 15.5% of pregnant women have no prenatal checkup during the time of survey, of whom 39.1% expressed fear of going to any health facility, 34.8% were not aware of their current pregnancy, 13% had no money to go to the nearest health facility, while 13% were busy, no time, or were not interested to avail a prenatal checkup. So, delikado po yun, no? So, the Barangay Health Center was reported to be the most accessible health facility for prenatal health checkup, prenatal health services, as compared with the private or government health facility. In terms of access to pregnancy-related information, messages, advice, more than half, at 57.4% of the pregnant women did not have any access to messages, information about pregnancy information. So while the 42.6% who receive this kind of information, they cited that the common sources of information were health centers, even the nurses, midwives, also TV, social media, and other printed materials as sources of this pregnancy-related information. In terms of breastfeeding practices, 59.7% of the infants and young children aged 0 to 23 months old were reported to be breastfed during the time of survey. Of the breastfed infants less than 6 months, 60.8% receive mother's milk exclusively the time of our survey. And comparing, sa graph po nakikita nyo, comparing these estimates before and during COVID-19 pandemic, current feeding and exclusive breastfeeding appeared to be unchanged. So hindi po naapektuhan during pandemic itong breastfeeding practices. And with, okay, then next. So with this information, it's very clear po, no, dun sa mga results na pakita natin, it's very clear that food insecurity, including food inaccessibility, and the limited access to the different health and nutrition services, programs for children, for pregnant women, are the major concerns during lockdowns in these selected areas covered by our survey. We know that if these are left unsolved, this may increase the proportion of our population who, with nutrient deficiencies, undernutrition, that could lead to lifelong negative impact, not only on the physical development, but more so on their mental or cognitive development. So, ito po yung nakikita nating effect, magiging effect po ng pandemic sa ating mga children. So for call to action, unang-una gusto natin pong i-highlight that donations, government services, and benefits must be decentralized from the highly urbanized cities and should be extended equitably to provinces with less resources. Second, there is a need to enhance capabilities and resources of our barangay health centers to improve the delivery of essential health services for our women, for our children, and our women, pregnant women, lactating women. Next, there is also a need to hire nutritionists to impart effective nutrition messages, information, and to ensure the effective implementation of these basic nutrition services at the grassroots level. Next, there's a need to improve assistance on food production, either as home or community-based gardening, and more efforts also on this among the urban areas. Next, that the DOST-Fnri to develop more easy to distribute safe and nutritious food products. And lastly, regional and provincial nutrition partners to promote the consumption of nutrient-dense and using the indigenous food products or food commodities. That's all, and thank you po. Sana meron po kayong nakuhang mga key points here based on the results of our ENNS. So salamat, maraming salamat for listening, and back to you, Sir Buds.
Thank you very much, Doc Wing. So again, bago tayo magpatuloy sa ating next presentation, mamigay ulit tayo ng mga load. Okay. Question number 4. What is the meaning of the acronym ENNS? What does ENNS stand for? Go. Sir Nix, may winner na ba tayo? Okay, congratulations po kay Mr. Nestor Balag. Just one cellphone load. Paki-input lang po sa ating chat box ang inyong cell number at inyong network provider. Ang answer po, Expanded National Nutrition Survey or ENNS. Okay? Gusto nyo pa? Okay. So, meron pa tayong question. Next. What is the full name of another former DOST Regional Director, DOST Region 2 Director, who is now the President of Cagayan State University? Go. What is the full name of another former DOST Regional Director who is now the President of Cagayan State University? For next, do we have a winner? Okay, congratulations to Amir Aquino. So please, the answer is Dr. Urduha Tejada. So before Regional Director Sancho, ang Regional Director po ng DOST2 ay si Ma'am Urduha Tejada, who now heads the Cagayan State University. So congratulations, Sir Amir. Please type your cell phone number and network provider sa ating chat box. Last question before we proceed with the next presentation. Ito, madali lang po to. Pabilisan na lang ng pagtatype. What is the meaning of the acronym ENNS or RNAS? Yun lang, copy-present lang po. What is the meaning of the acronym ENNS? RNAS. Okay, meron dito ang bibilis mag-type. So we have a winner, Miss Edelita Alias. Congratulations, Ma'am Edelita. Kindly type your cell phone number and network provider sa ating chat box. Okay? Meron pa po mga questions. Huwag kayong mag-alala doon sa mga hindi pa nananalo. Meron pa tayong mga questions after the next presentation. Okay? Last but not the least, We have Ms. Abby Padrones, our Senior Science Research Specialist of the Nutrition and Food Research and Development Division, or NFRDD of the DOST-Fnri. Ms. Abby will now discuss to us the technology of DOST-Fnri on iron-fortified rice. Over to you, Ma'am Abby.
Thank you po, Sir Bads. Good morning po sa mga participants. Short survey lang po. Sino po may prior knowledge among you here about the iron fortified rice po? Kindly type I sa chat box. Ayan po. So, siguro po new knowledge po ito sa lahat since si Ma'am Pascual lang po nag-signify po ng knowledge. So, allow me to present the rice fortification technologies po ni FNRI. Actually, since early 90s po, nagkakandak na po tayo ng research and development on rice fortification. So, hindi lang po siguro masyadong disseminate po sa inyo yung mga results or the technology, pero matagal na po itong technology. So, first, the presentation will be divided into two major points po. First is the introduction po ni iron fortified rice, and then the technology po, or the technology transfer protocol. So, si FNRI, we conduct po three major activities. So, kanina narinig niyo po yung results ni survey or the National Nutrition Survey and the Rapid or the ENNS. So, ito po yung isang core function namin is to define the nutritional status of the Philippine or the citizens. And then, hindi lang po namin to sinishare or sinishare po. Based on these results, nakita nyo may mga prevalence of vitamin A, may anemia. Yung isang group po namin or isang core function po namin is we develop product tools and systems po to answer these nutritional problems. So for the IFR or the iron fortified rice, we address the anemia prevalence or the iron deficiency prevalence na nakita natin sa survey results. And then lastly, we diffuse this knowledge po. Hindi lang po natin ilalagay po sa laboratory and then pinapublish yung results. Kailangan din po natin i-diffuse to sa mga stakeholders nang sa ganon, ma-scale up po natin or ma-commercialize po yung ating technology. So our mission in FNRI is to fight malnutrition with accurate data, correct information, and then innovative technologies. Ayun po. So based on the National Nutrition Survey from 1993 to 2013, ito po yung trend ng anemia. So makikita nyo po from 1993, although decreasing po yung ating anemia prevalence, yung green line po yung target natin. Ito yung 5% po prevalence. So 2013, we have 11.1%. Ito po pala ay for children aged under 5 years. So yung target po natin is to have below 5% prevalence of anemia. How we one of the strategies is to scale up the fortified rice or the iron fortified rice. So ito yung since hindi po kailangan po natin yung scientific evidence po na hindi lang po dapat mag-produce or mag-conduct lang tayo ng R&D, dapat po may scientific basis din yung ating mga products. So since 2006, nag-conduct na po sila ng mga R&D or research and development studies on the iron fortified rice. And isa po dito yung pag-test po ng efficacy of the iron fortified rice. So this was conducted by the group of Dr. Imelda Agdepa. She's currently the director of the FNRI, and then yung mga kasamahan niya din po, coincidentally ay mga director din po or retired director po ni FNRI. Sila Doc Mar, si Doc Barba, and then si Sir Doc Florentino. So sa study na to, nag-feed po sila ng around 3 groups. Yung isang group ay yung fortified po na using the ferric pyrophosphate. Ito po yung fortificant na, yung original fortificant pa po nila. And then kinompare po nila sa micronized ferric pyrophosphate. Ito na po yung bagong fortificant na ginagamit namin ngayon. And then the third group is the control group. So they measured the baseline hemoglobin levels of these children and then also the end line. So yung results po, actually the duration was around 6 months or 120 days. So measure nila yung baseline and then after the study, it was found na nag-decrease po yung iodine deficiency po ng population, yung micronized ferric pyrophosphate and then the ferric sulfate nag-decrease po by 50% po yung IDA nila. So sa control group naman po, medyo mas mababa po yung decrease po ng IDA nila. So a more recent study was conducted by the World Food Program. Ito naman po ay yung pinaka-objective ng study naman po nito ay yung pag-scale up na po. Nag-model po sila ng distribution po ni IFR in support of the Republic Act 11037 and Republic Act 8976. So same po yung results nila. Bumaba po yung deficiency ni iron sa mga bata na groups. So what is this Republic Act 8976? So para po sa hindi nakakaalam, ito po yung batas sa Philippines na nagsasaad na or minamandate or kailangan nating i-fortify yung rice natin with iron or our staples, yung flour with iron and vitamin A, and then the cooking oil with vitamin A also, and then the salt with iodine. So nasa batas po yan na kailangan nating i-fortify yung ating staples. So this project is also in line with the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition sa 2017 to 2022. So gaya nga po ng nasabi ko, under the mandatory food fortification, sa po yung project yung rice fortifications and yung agencies involved, andun po si FNRI. So si FNRI, yung role niya po ay to conduct R&D or technology development din, and then capacity building. Ito-train po namin yung mga stakeholders on how to develop or how to make these products. And then andun din po yung regulation and then monitoring and promotion. So for rice fortification, meron po tayong dalawang main ingredient. So po yung fortificant. For example, for rice fortification, so iron fortification nga po, nasabi ko, yung fortificant, ito po si ferric ferrosulfate or si micronized ferric pyrophosphate. Siya po yung fortificant. Ito po yung ina-add natin sa food vehicle. So the food vehicle in rice fortification is logically rice. So kung paano natin i-add si ferric pyrophosphate, kung paano po natin i-add si ferric pyrophosphate sa rice, ito po yung pinag-aaralan ni FNRI. Now, hindi po natin pwedeng i-add po diretso or cannot add the fortificant po since powder form po si fortificant diretso sa food vehicle na rice. So, imagine niyo po yung flour, dinagdag po sa rice, hindi po siya, it will not mix homogeneously because po, mas maliit po yung size po ni flour or ni powder form fortificant dun po sa rice. So, mag-go through siya in between the spaces po ni rice kernel. So, through time, magsasettle down yung powder fortificant sa ilalim po ng sako ng bigas. So, hindi siya magiging homogeneous. So, what we did was to mix this fortificant sa rice flour and then ito na po yung pinag-aralan namin. Historically po yung first mga technologies namin ay dumaan po kami sa coating technology. So, yung coating technology naman, dinedissolve po namin yung fortificant doon po sa isang carrier and then kino-coat siya sa rice. So, however, yung effect nun ay since hindi po magkapareho po yung moisture po nito and then pag dinry mo, magkukos po yan ng minute cracks and then through time, magbe-break po yung rice kernels and then merong powdering po na effect mangyayari. And then secondly, in terms of color, si coating technology po, since nakapa-coat lang po siya sa rice, mas exposed po siya sa environment, and then gaya nga po ng alam natin si iron, kung nagkakalawang po yan, di ba po? Nagba-brown po siya. So same results or same effects are manifested in coated rice po na nilagyan po ng iron. Nagba-brown po siya through time. So hindi po siya kaaya-aya, and then so the sensory evaluation or the consumer acceptability of this coated rice or iron coated rice ay mas mababa po doon sa ordinary rice. Kaya po historically po yung coated rice po dati na ginamit sa feeding programs, yung mga response po ng mga bata na pinakain ay ayaw daw po nila, or pinipili nila yung mga butil na or yung fortified rice, yung coated rice, pinipili nila kasi akala nila ay yung unhulled rice siya na nahalo dun sa ordinary rice. So, kaya po si FNRI, gumawa po kami ng technology na in terms of sensory evaluation, mas magiging acceptable po siya. And then sa shelf life din po or the stability of the iron, mas mapapatagal po namin. So, paano po namin ginawa yun? Yun na po. Sabi ko yung powder fortificant, minix namin siya sa flour. And then, minix namin siya sa rice flour gamit ng mixer, and then in-extrude po namin siya nang sa ganun, paglabas niya, yung mold nito ay para na siyang rice kernels. So since mataas po yung nito, temperature sa loob dito sa extruder na to, so yung dough, yung rice dough na may halong fortificant, para po siyang nagme-melt, and paglabas po niya, may mold siya dyan na hugis bigas. So pwede mo na siyang i-mold to different shapes. So yung sa rice naman, kasi siya parang oblong, yung ginamit namin na mold ay para din siyang oblong. Paglabas niya po ay similar na po siya sa rice grains. So after po na-extrude si iron rice premix, ito po yung isang technology namin, si iron rice premix, i-mix po natin siya sa ordinary rice gamit ng isang blending machine. So si rice premix, ito po siya, kung makikita nyo, same po yung itsura niya. Although mas dilaw po siya ng konti, ito po ay dahil sa iron fortificant. So pag minix mo na po siya sa ordinary rice, meron po yung mga screw type po na yung mixer, or pwede din pong plates, depende po sa inyo kung meron po kayong fabricated or meron po kayong blending machine. I-blend po natin siya sa specific ratio. Paglabas niya po, siya na po yung iron fortified rice natin na may target na levels po ni iron. So, ito na po si iron fortified rice. So, ulitin ko po, first, gagawa po tayo ng premix, and then si premix, i-add po natin sa ordinary rice to make the iron fortified rice. So, si iron rice premix natin, kung makikita nyo po, ito po yung actual na picture po ni iron rice premix natin. So, makikita nyo, same shape po siya ni ordinary rice, and then yung texture niya po ay hard din po, gaya po, same din po yung texture niya ni ordinary rice, and then it has a longer shelf life kasi nga po extruded siya, no discoloration, di naman po sa no discoloration, pero yung kanyang discoloration po as compared to coating technology, hindi po ganun ka-significant. Through time, syempre, nagbabago po siya, nagda-darken, pero hindi po ganun ka-significant. And then, easily added to rice, imimix mo lang po siya. Also, it's locally produced. It is the actual picture din po ni iron fortified rice natin. So, kung makikita mo, nihalo na siya sa ordinary rice, hindi na siya ganun ka-obvious po. Since magkapareho na po sila ng itsura. Pero if you look closely, ito po yung isang 40 yung butil na or yung rice premix, isa po dito. Meron din pong isa dito. Medyo may kadilawan na po siya. Pero not significant po siya in terms of appearance po pangkalahatan. So it can be washed and cooked like ordinary rice, and then 3 to 4 cups of cooked IFR provides at least 40% of the daily requirement for iron. So this is the blending machine developed by FNRI, since nakita namin offshore shoot project lang po to since nakita po namin na kailangan po natin ng blending machine to produce the IFR. So, mahal po masyado yung blending machine na imported. So, naisipan po namin mag-fabricate ng isang blending machine na mas affordable po. So, yung blending machine na na-develop namin, syempre po affordable, and then it's efficient, it's stable, and not damaging to grains. Hindi po ganun ka, yung plates niya po, hindi ganun ka, imimix mo si grains, hindi siya nagbe-break. So, hindi po broken yung results ng grain. So, ito po yung blending ratio po natin. What this figure shows is that sa x-axis, ito po yung number of samples, and then sa y-axis, ito po yung blending ratio. What this means is that these points are actual rice samples. So from the blended rice, kumuha po kami ng mga samples, ito sila. And then binilang po namin yung mga rice premix na nahalo dun sa rice per 200 grams. So yung blending ratio natin, yung target natin is between 0.004 up to 0.006. So, kung makikita nyo yung results natin na merong ganitong blending ratio, nandito po sila sa center. Ibig sabihin po, efficient yung ating blending po gamit ni IFR blending machine. So, it's within 95% acceptable blending ratio. For the cost analysis naman po, pinapakita lang po dito yung 30 million. Ito po yung nagamit natin or na-invest natin for the technology. Of course, it's not only iron fortified rice. So, imagine niyo po from 2003 hanggang sa present, meron na po tayong mga efficiency studies and then the innovation studies. Sa ngayon po, meron na po tayong multi-nutrient and so forth. Ang discussion sa IFR lang po muna. For the equipment cost, gamit po yung extruder machine, and then the mixer included na po dito for the complete line. For the blending machine, ito po yung fabricated blending machine natin. Yung project cost po namin was around 350,000 po. Doon po sa isang standalone blending machine na capable po siya mag-produce ng 30 to 35 stacks of iron fortified rice per the add-on cost due to fortification. Blending included na po doon, and then the price of the iron rice premix included na din po. Dito sa 2 pesos to 3 pesos add-on cost per kilo po. So kung 50 kilos, nasa 100 pesos po yung add-on cost. This one is for the iron rice premix. So the break-even price is around 230 pesos per kilo, and then with a 20% markup, yung retail price po, suggested retail price is around 274. Now, this was computed based on our pilot study. So, wala pa po kaming study for the scale-up or the commercial value po. Pero po, based sa aming pilot studies, around 274 pesos po per kilo. For the licensing fee, for iron rice premix alone, we have 50,000 pesos po kasi mas complicated po yung process, and then mas mahal po yung mga equipment, and yung ituturo po na method po, mas madami po. So, it's around 50,000 pesos. This one is one time lang naman po, and pwede po siyang installment. Depende po sa usapan yun with our business development unit. For the iron fortified rice alone it will cost about 15,000 po for the licensing fee. So po yung magbe-blend lang po kayo ng premix. Yung premix, pwedeng bilhin nyo lang po sa isang supplier, and then i-mix nyo siya sa rice gamit po na isang blending machine. Yung blending machine din po, available na din po ito. Meron din po kaming supplier nito. For the blending machine, yung para po sa may kakayahang mag-fabricate, si blending machine po ay nasa 25,000 po for the licensing fee. Now, this is the protocol for our technology transfer. Unang-una, you have to submit your letter of intent. So, nakaspecify po doon yung inyong company name and then the technology you want to adopt. For example, si iron fortified rice. Lalagay nyo po doon yung intent nyo, and then you have to address it to our director. So, after submitting the letter of intent, our business development unit will contact you and then arrange a consultative meeting. So dito po, discuss nyo yung mga requirements, yung mga documentary requirements, yung site or the area requirements, and then yung kakayahan nyo po or kung ano pa man po yun, i-discuss nyo. And then they will conduct a technology needs assessment together with the regional offices. So, virtual site visit po sila sa planta nyo or sa inyong area. And then they will assess kung ano po yung kakayahan or ano pa po yung kulang na equipment or knowledge or anything po. Dito po yun mangyayari. And then i-evaluate po nila or after po kasi ng technology needs assessment, meron pa po yung recommendation. So you need to comply with the recommendations or the additional requirements. And then po, babalikan po kayo and then i-evaluate kung na ready nyo na po yung mga recommendations nila. And then after that, kung ready na po lahat, magkakaroon po tayo ng MOA signing. So after MOA signing, andun na po yung technology licensing fee na nabanggit ko po kanina. And then after ng MOA signing, ayun, doon na po natin i-discuss po or i-train na po kayo regarding dun sa technology. And so for the letter of intent, i-address niyo po siya sa aming director, si Director Imelda Angeles Agdepa. And ito po yung contact details ni Director Agdepa. So you can send your letter of intent through her email or you can contact her directly or sa secretary niya. Gamit po itong yung phone number na to, local 220 po. Ito po yung project team namin, si Doc A, si Ma'am Ella. Retired na po siya, pero isa din po siya sa mga pioneers po na gumawa ng iron fortified rice. Itong picture na to ay kinuha nung nag-launching po sila sa Compostela Valley. So, parade po sila, meron po kaming super rice, isa po sa mga promotional activities namin. So may mascot po kami doon, and then nag-launching sila, tapos nagpa-taste test po sila. Project po yun ng LGU ni Compostela, and kasama po yung CDOST Compostela doon. So, for further questions po, you can email me sa email address na po. Ayun po. Salamat po sa pakikinig. Sir Bads.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Abby. So, there you have it, the technology po para sa iron fortified rice ng DOST-Fnri. So, gaya ng nabanggit ko kanina, malaki po ang demand ngayon nito at yung mga current adapters po na gumagawa ng iron fortified rice ay hindi po kayang supplyan yung increase in demand para po doon sa feeding programs ng gobyerno. Kaya maganda pong business to kung meron po kayong mga kilalang mga rice millers dyan, di ba? Marami pong bigas at palay dyan sa Cagayan Valley. Baka gusto nyo po silang i-encourage na magtanong tungkol dito sa technology na to. Okay. Bago po tayo magpunta sa ating question and answer or open forum, narito po ang ating mga last set of questions. So get your fingers ready for typing. This is question number 7. Mention one coping strategy related to acquiring food during the pandemic as reported by the ENNS or the Rapid Nutrition Assessment Survey. Ito po yung binanggit kanina ni Doc Beng ng mga pamamaraan o mga diskarte na ginagawa ng ating mga kababayan na sinurvey namin at sinabi nila kung ano yung mga ginagawa nilang paraan para makatawid ang kanilang pangangailangan sa pagkain. Go po. Sorry po wrong spelling wrong para po mas maging accurate tayo. So, So may chance pa po yung iba mag-fill in po ng mga sagot. Ulitin ko po yung tanong, ano po yung mga strategies na ginawa ng ating mga kababayan itong pandemic para makapag-cope up yung kanilang pangangailangan sa pagkain. Ito po ay nireport kanina ni Doc Beng Goyena sa Rapid Nutrition Assessment Survey result. Any more answers po? Okay, I think next meron ng winner, no? So, let's give chance to others. So, yung mga nanalo po kanina ay bigyan po natin ng chance na manalo yung iba. So, pwede pa pong sumagot yung iba. Okay. Wala na pong sasagot. Okay. So, do we have a winner, Sir Nix? Okay. So, congratulations to Maynard Ginukay. So, paki-type lang po sa ating chat box ang inyong cellphone number and network provider. Congratulations, Sir Maynard. Next question. According to the ENNS again, or yung Rapid Nutrition Assessment Survey results, what is the most accessible place where respondents sought services related to health and nutrition? Ito po ay pinresent kanina ni Doc Beng Goyena. Again, what is the most accessible place where the respondents of ENNS sought service related to health and nutrition? Okay, we have a winner. Congratulations to Miss Melanie Dotuerte. Melanie Dotuerte. Kindly type your cellphone number and your network provider sa ating pong chat box. So, ang answer po ay health center. Yung answer po kanina sa previous question pala ay tama po yung sagot nila, nanghihiram sa kapitbahay or borrowed from neighbors, friends, other family members. So for the next question, ito po, napakadali lang. What is the meaning of the acronym IFR? What does IFR stand for? Go po. I guess we have a winner. So congratulations to Mr. Merlito Edale Jr. Congrats po, Sir Edale. Kindly type in the chat box your cell phone number and your network provider. And our last question for our trivia game today before our open forum. What micronutrient deficiency does IFR aim to help address? Ano pong micronutrient deficiency ang gustong i-address ng IFR? Okay po. Ingat po sa pagta-type. May mga typo error po yung iba. Do we have winners or nicks? Okay. Oh, this time from DPWH Region 2, we have can we know your name, sir? Okay. Miss Erica Faye Baral from DPWH Region 2. Congratulations po. Pakitype lang po ng cellphone number at network provider. The correct answer po ay iron deficiency anemia. At yung sagot po kanina dun sa previous question ay iron fortified rice. So congratulations po sa lahat ng winner. So ipapadala po namin yung load nyo after ma-verify po namin yung mga list namin. Okay. So let's proceed po with the open forum. You may be recognized by using the reaction button to raise your hand, or you may just type sa ating chat box yung inyong mga katanungan. So, any questions po? Open na po yung ating mga speakers, si Ma'am Charmaine Duante, si Doc Bengoyena, at si Ma'am Abby Padrones to address your questions or your comments po. The floor is now open po para sa inyong mga questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir
Yes,
Amir?
yes, sir. Opo. I was actually telling my fellow officers sa CVIOO na these topics are very interesting. I hope that more and more Filipinos will listen to it. Ang curiosity ko lang po, Sir Buds, ay have we ever come up with hard policies so that people will really benefit, more and more people will benefit, even up to the people in the communities po dito sa mga results po na napakaganda naman po talaga dito sa mga studies and programs ng DOST. If there are policies already that would, should I use the term compel, or that would make it be embraced by the people in the community.
Thank you for your question, Sir Amir. I think Ma'am Charmaine can answer that better regarding the policies na binase sa aming mga studies and our current policies also that we are recommending for implementation. Ma'am Chari?
Okay. Magandang tanghali po. So, marami na po mga policies na ang ginamit pong basis sa pag-
Lakasan lang po ang volume, Ma'am Chari.
Sandali po. Okay na po? Sir
Okay
Bad?
na, Ma'am Chari. Go ahead.
Sorry, natanggal pala. So marami na pong policies crafted using our data. So yung pong syntax law, kasama po doon. Yung sa IYCF, yung the first 1,000 days. Yung ASIN law po, basis din nun ay yung data ng FNRI. And patuloy pong nagka-craft yung aming isang section po dito sa FNRI ng mga polisiya po na magagamit based on the results of the survey. So yun lang po yung mga ibang examples. Salamat po.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Chari. So, in addition to that, kanina pinresent nga ni Ma'am Abby yung iron fortified rice. So, naging basis din or guide ng ating mga policymakers yung Fortification Act, Food Fortification Act of 2000 for the fortification, mandatory fortification of selected staple foods and voluntary fortification of processed food. Kaya lang po pagdating doon sa monitoring, doon po medyo nahihirapan, especially doon po sa voluntary fortification ng processed food. Pero gaya ng nasabi ni Ma'am Chari, the DOST-Fnri is always pushing inputs, no, data for crafting of policies para nang sa ganun ay magkaroon ng ngipin at scientific basis yung ating mga policies na ini-implement or mas importanteng ma-implement at ma-monitor sa local level.
Yes, Sir Buds. Sa end po natin sa Cagayan Valley Information Officers, dahil nakikita po natin talaga yung kahalagahan ng mga ito na malaman ng bawat Pilipino, lalo na sa ating region, if there's any help that we could where we could come in, please feel free to inform our organization. We will be so happy to help, Sir Buds. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Will do, Sir Amir. Any more questions po?
Opo.
Yes, Ma'am Delita. Go ahead po. So since we are streaming live also on YouTube channel of the FNRI, we have a question here from a YouTube viewer. Where can we order IFR? So, Ma'am Abby, I think this is your question.
Yes, Sir Buds, na sa chat box din po. May link po sila sa Facebook group ni Prevalence.
Come again, Ma'am Abby.
Tinipe ko po, sir, sa chat box po yung link po para kay Nutricomnet.
Okay. Okay. So, thank you. So, nandito po yung account ng Nutricomnet. This is based in Santa Barbara, Malanay, Pangasinan. Yung Nutricomnet food na nagpa-manufacture po ng iron fortified rice. Pwede rin kayong umorder sa kanila nung premix lang. Okay po? Any more questions pa po? Wala na pong questions? Okay, time check po ay 11 o'clock by my watch. So if meron pa po kayong questions na hindi nyo pa naiisip ngayon, feel free to contact us and we'll try our very best to address these questions or comments. So we now proceed with the virtual awarding of certificates to our speakers. Sir Nix, kindly flash our certificate. So let me read the citation. the Republic of the Philippines, Department of Science and Technology, Food and Nutrition Research Institute presents this certificate of appreciation to Ms. Charmaine A. Duante for sharing her expertise and valuable insights as resource person during the virtual forum for the Nutrition Communication Network for Region 2, held this June 16, 2021 via Zoom and given the same date. Signed, Imelda Angeles Agdepa, PhD, Director for and Scientist 2 of DOST-Fnri. Thank you so much, Ma'am Charmaine.
Thank you
Next.
po, Sir Buds.
The same certificate with the same citation is also given to Dr. Eva A. Goyena. Thank you so much, Doc Bang.
Thank you din po. Thank you, Sir Bads. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Next, we have the same certificate with the similar citation, and it's given to Ms. Abby L. Padrones. Thank you very much, Ma'am Abby.
Thank you po, Sir Bads.
Okay. So to receive your certificate, here's an announcement. Just copy this link. So once you accomplish, it will automatically generate your certificate of participation as proof of your attendance to this virtual Nutricomnet forum. At this point po, may ask the speakers and participants if you may allow to please turn on your cameras for documentation and photo opportunity. And may I request Nix to please give the cue.
Hello po, requesting everyone po to please turn on your cameras for the photo op. So meron po tayong dalawang panel on my cue po. Smile po. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Second panel po. Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile. Third. Thank you very much po.
Okay, before we close, I would like to request Ma'am Chari, baka may gusto po kayong i-announce regarding our FSS or the seminar series. For your information po, Ms. Chari is the chair of the FNRI seminar series where we report our completed researches and SNT activities. Annual po ito and virtually na ngayon.
Okay, thank you, Bud. So our 47th FNRI seminar series will be on July 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, so meron po kaming session every day. So nag-start na po mag-post si Nix. Nix, no? Tama?
Yes, ma'am.
Sa ating FB page, no? So, makikita nyo po yung mga topics po doon. So, ito po ay libre. So, with CPD unit. So, welcome po kayong meron din pong registration flow na nakapublish na, no, Nix, para po masundan ninyo kung paano po mag-register. So, maraming salamat po and see you on our 47th FNRI seminar series. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Chari. So, see you virtually po sa ating 47th FSS. Maraming salamat once again, Ma'am Chari, Doc Goyena, and Ma'am Abby for taking time to share your expertise with our Nutricomnet participants in Region 2. Maraming salamat po kay Ma'am Virginia Bulgaria, Assistant Regional Director of DOST Region 2. And thank you so much, Ma'am Vicky, and lahat po ng tumulong sa DOST Region 2 to make this Nutricomnet forum successful. and sa mga secretariat dito sa FNRI. In behalf po sa aming division chief, si Dr. Milflor Gonzales, ang aming supervisor, si Ma'am Eden, at ang aming pong director na si Dr. Imelda Angeles Agdepa. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mag-ingat po tayo at may pandemya pa. So, magpapakuna na po kung may chance.
Meron na po.
Maraming salamat.
Done na
Thank
po.
Don't
Okay.
forget to publish the forms po.
Thank you po. Thank
Thank you.
And ingat po sa lahat.